It's been in the public domain because Obama, and I'll say it straight up because no one else will, you will, Obama is a Muslim through and through. Obama sympathizes with a Muslim caliphate. Obama sympathizes with the mullahs in Tehran. He sympathizes with the radicals in the Far East, and that's why he never holds any of them accountable. He doesn't sympathize with Christians and Jews. He sympathizes with his own people. And that's why these things are happening. And it's time that someone called it like it is. He is not for Christians and Jews. He's for Muslims. And that's why you listen to these people on the stage yesterday. None of them, absolutely none, will confront this issue. He's not incompetent. It's not that he doesn't know what he's doing. It's not that he's weak. He is furthering a Muslim caliphate. Those are his people.
He really is backing head-chopping loons. And they said when he spoke in Cairo, when he's first in office, that the Muslims were freaked out. He spoke better than a priest, better than a scribe, better than a religious leader. And I guess to look at it, that might be the case. How do you think then, since I guess you're being proven right, what does he want to pull off? I mean, what's the end game, to become the Mahdi or something?
Somebody sent me a video recently, Muslim, about Obama in his own words, boasting that he's a Muslim. Yes, he wants to bring the United States down to its knees. He admired his father. His father was Muslim. His father was thrown out of this country because he overstayed his student visa, much like many Muslims are doing these days and others. And Obama, in his heart, has disdain, but he's very smart because he pulled a number over all of us. He defrauded us. I don't believe that he's a natural-born citizen to be President of the United States. He told everybody he's a Christian. He's not. And actions speak louder than words. And yes, I do believe in his heart he would like to see the world run by Muslims, because that is what Islam teaches. Okay, now, not all Muslims are bad people. There's some good Muslims. They're no longer Muslims. They quit, okay? Is it anybody who practices the tenets of the Holy Quran, as Obama always calls it, never the Quran, the Holy Quran. Anybody who practices that is a danger, because Islam teaches that you have to get rid of the infidels. And who are the infidels? Christians and Jews and others, Hindus, others. Look, the Indians don't get along with the Muslims either, because the Muslims would like to eliminate the Hindus as well. That's their religion. So the Holy Quran, in the words of Obama, he's furthering what Allah teaches. That's my view.
Look at the White House and George Soros connected to kill the cop movement. They're actually trying to start a shooting revolution in this country, Larry.
Well, absolutely. And you know who's behind that, too? Louis Farrakhan. Who is Louis Farrakhan? A friend of Barack and Michelle Obama, from Chicago, head of the Nation of Islam, someone who has called Jews pigs, gutter religion, has advocated recently, just the last few years ago, killing cops and killing white, and by extension killing Jews, because Farrakhan hates Jews, okay, and there's some Jewish cops, so you can get a twofer if you'd like. So this is what we're dealing with. You know, you are who you associate with, Alex, and Obama has associated with these people and brought them in throughout his lifetime, but he was smart enough and smooth enough that he could pull the wool over the not educated American electorate.
Sure.
Obama's won every victory with them, and that's why Trump is surging, and he'll continue to surge despite his performance last night in the debate.
Do you think Trump's for real?
I don't know if he's for real or not, but people are willing to grasp at straws right now like they're willing to grasp at Hitler, because we have no choice. I don't think, I think Donald Trump is the good man. I think he's probably uncontrolled in his mouth, okay, but he's not a traitor to this country. I think he wants to make this country great again. I believe that. And I think he's saying a lot of things that's resonating.
The Stasi has been reactivated in Germany, but not in the East, all over. This is mainstream news on Infowars.com, links to German news with a straight face. If you criticize the millions of illegal radical Islamists, many of them pouring in, you're given a 5,000 euro fine. That's more than $5,000. It's like $5,600 in current conversion rates. Today, we checked it. And 120 days in jail, no judge, no jury. And they literally are hiring the former Stasi to run it. This is unprecedented, and this is the political correctness they want here. I mean, this locking Christians up and arresting Germans if they say they don't want to pay for somebody from North Africa. I mean, this is crazy.
it is. And think about this. Obama's bringing 10,000 Muslims into this country.
And you know that's just some small number they put to just break the ice. I mean, they bring in 1 million a year anyways.
Yeah, they're bringing in 10,000 that cannot possibly be vetted. Alex, you know what that is? You know what Islam, the people in Islam claim that there's 25% of the people that follow Islam are considered fundamentalist radical Islam. So let's take 10,000 that we're bringing in. What's that, 2,500 potential radical Islamists coming in? And we're bringing them here and we're going to put them up in the houses next to yours, mine, and everybody watching this program? No, it makes no sense. Now, you'll have to think about one other thing. Hillary, excuse my pup, I know what it looks like, Alex. I know it looks like Hillary's in a world of hurt. She's not. There's no way when she gets in the South, and you know it, Alex, that what's-his-name Sanders is going to show like he's showing now. Number two...
Sanders will go over like a lead balloon.
That's right. Number two, she cannot be prosecuted. You do know that, don't you? She can't be prosecuted because if she were to be prosecuted, then as her defense, she would have to show the emails to defend herself. And then, of course, since they're classified and top secret, they can't be revealed, so the judge will have to throw it out and say he can't prosecute her. So she's not going to be prosecuted. And here's what's going to happen. She is going to start the tearing tour, the tearing up tour. And what that means...
Well, you said a few months ago she wants to be the underdog and she can try to play that.
She's got to be the underdog. She's got to be the underdog or she can't win. She learned that the first race against Obama. She cannot win. No Clinton can win as an anointed one. They have to all... We had to make Bill every time be the underdog.
Well, that's why everybody hates Jeb Bush and her. We're sick of dynasties. So you do have a point. You're saying that they're going with this so that Obama's not after her then? Obama's not trying to damage her because she is losing in the polls.
Well, she's losing in the polls, but that's predictable. That's where I would put her. Hillary's doing just what I would tell her to do. But I believe Obama, through his new attorney general, is moving in and hovering. And I think there's a good chance, as like I said last time I was on, watch Biden. Joseph Biden is the move that nails Hillary for Obama. That's what neuters Hillary. Right now, members of Congress, which would have to be collectively called to declare a national crisis, they're afraid of Hillary. They're afraid that if you get on her enemies list like I am, you're in trouble deep. So they're worried about that. But now if Biden gets in, now you've got somebody that might be able to nudge Hillary out of the race.
So if they've got the huevos to launch Biden, then you know her neck might be in a political guillotine.
You'll know then that Obama's planning on staying. It's exactly what you'll know. Because
so Biden's a placeholder for Obama.
That's exactly right. And don't doubt it for a second. Because I promise you, you know it as well as I do. You could knock Hillary, kick her around, jump her up and down, all you want to do. When she gets into the final vote in the Democratic primary, you know what's going to happen. She's going to win.
You said that first months ago. Now it's in the news that Obama's after Hillary, and she's even attacking Obama now.
Yeah, here's what you will watch. Here's what's coming. They're following our playbook this time exactly, Alex. She's going to start the tearing tour. Now, when Hillary goes out, she's going to tear up. We used to have to tell Hillary to get her to show any kind of emotion. Think of the worst thing. Think of the day your puppy died. Didn't have a puppy. Oh, okay, fine. Think about the day your grandmother died. I didn't like her. Okay. You know, good God, Hillary, there's got to be something that'll make you have some emotion. There really wasn't. So they've got to train her. And Hillary's problem, Alex, as you know, Hillary's not a good actor. Those people up on that stage, the politicians in Washington that rise to the top, they're good actors. They're not real people, they're good actors. But she will win. When this race is done, starting this week, you'll start seeing some of the Republican candidates start dropping out. Why? When you're running 1%, 2%, 3%, it's hard to go to a big donor and say, would you put $100,000 in my campaign? They're not going to do it. They'll start going broke and they'll start dropping out. But here's what's coming. Obama's going to have Sharpton move into high gear. You're going to start seeing more and more race problems in major cities. At the same time, you're seeing this killing police. And then every time the police defend themselves or try to do their job, they're executed. And what Obama's playing for, he's playing for the day the police say to hell with you. And what happens when they do that, Alex? What happens? Like Baltimore, what if the police had just said to hell with you? The people would beg for the government to come in and protect them. And let me assure you folks, when crazies are running up and down your streets, take weapons and killing people on your block, you know what you're going to do? You're going to beg for help. And you've got the old federal government sitting right there, and Posse Comitatus won't mean a thing. We'll be in submission. So Obama knows it, and Obama's not planning on leaving, Alex.
You start going around killing police randomly, the whole civilization is going to collapse. We're going to have martial law. Evil people that just overthrew Ukraine are trying to overthrow America. Don't you get it? I mean, these people are so stupid.
You know, Alex, that's what I don't understand. Why can't people open their eyes? Look around, folks. Alex, if I'd have told you I've said this a few times, if I'd have told you 5 years ago, you know, Alex, these old people that are mentally sick, these kinds that are, they call themselves some kind of transgender kind, you don't know if they're male, female, they can't figure it out. If I'd have told you 5 years ago we were going to build special bathrooms in elementary and junior high schools for those people to have, what would you have said?
I'd have said, you're crazy.
Exactly. 5 years ago, if I'd have told you, Alex, I tell you what, we're just going to do away with boys and girls. There's not going to be any boys department store aisle for the boys' toys, girls' toys. There's not going to be girls' bathrooms.
Target's now done that?
What would you have said?
I'd have said, you're talking about just total craziness.
We are totally crazy. And we see a debate tonight, and none of these fundamental issues are brought up. The same money people, the same 5, maybe 7, maybe 10 ultra wealthy people control every one of those campaigns except maybe Trump. Control every one of them. And if they step out of line at this point, you know what? Their funding will be cut. They'll be out of the race. It's sick. And then, Alex, how can anybody look at Obama and not believe that he's truly trying to become the global leader of Islam? Just look at the Iran deal.
I used to hear Glenn Beck and WorldNet Daily say it 5, 6 years ago, and you say it, and I thought they're nuts. And now you look at the evidence; that's all you can come up with. He's not stringing them along to set them up in some clash of civilizations. He's turning everything over, including non-radical Muslim nations, to the most murderous, crazy people I've ever seen. I mean, since when? Or he's setting America up to be the bad guy, because it's all coming out. What do you make of the military coming out and saying we're running Al-Qaeda and ISIS, and it's horrible? I mean, is that positive news, or what does that mean?
It means the military's had it. It means they've had it. You know, Obama's done everything he can to purge every person out of the military that might stand for America. I'm going to give you a news bulletin. Are you ready? And I got it from my friend in Israel, Netanyahu. Do you know what part of the deal in Iran nobody knows yet? Do you want to know it? They've made a deal included in the Iran deal. Obama and Kerry are negotiating with ISIS. They are negotiating a unified agreement between Iran and ISIS. Now, folks, let me tell you what's going to come of that. That's moving Obama one step closer to the ultimate global leader of Islam. Alex, think about what the people in the Middle East, think about what all the mohairs are thinking. Seriously, what do you think they think about Obama? They think he's the greatest thing that ever came since, what, magic carpet, I guess. They're sitting there and they're saying that guy is some kind of Allah or reincarnated or something.
The Mahdi.
The body. Exactly. Obama has made a sinister deal.
See, just a year ago, I wouldn't have bought this. But they're flooding Europe. They're saying kill cops. They're saying you can't say boy or girl. They're shutting down our power plants. I mean, the people running this country hate us. They are out to get us. They are. I just can't believe it. I just can't believe what type of psycho scum. You've been around these people, but I mean, they weren't even that bad back then. Have they gone crazy?
In my day, bad guys would look good today. Bad guys back then, honestly, Alex, would be heroes today, if you can believe that. They're moving in. They're setting up caliphates, buddy. All I mean is when they spread. When they spread and they get into, the first one comes in, well, gosh, he's a great little Muslim. You know what? They're just really nice people. We could probably let another one in. Well, then in comes another one. Well, they're just really nice people. But read the Quran, folks. One day, every Muslim, one day, is going to come to where what they call the river divides. And you either go to Allah heaven or Allah hell. 3 times in the Quran it says peace, love, dope. You got it? 3 times. 70 some odd times it says try to convert the infidel. 3 times. And if he don't, kill him. They got a great PR campaign. Look what they did in Africa, Alex. Convert to Islam or die. Christians can't say that. We can't grow Christianity by saying, either you believe in Jesus Christ, we're going to cut your head off. They're growing. And we in America have become cowards. What are we going to do?
Why are you being racist against people saying, I'm going to kill you if you don't convert to my religion? That's liberal and trendy.
I just can't help it. Let me ask you this, Alex. I'm going to pose this question for you. Dearborn, Michigan, has got a huge population of Muslims. They even do that little wacky thing, every time of the day where they do the prayer out on the loudspeaker. Tell me exactly what would happen, Alex, if tomorrow morning we wake up in Dearborn, Michigan, the Muslim community there declares itself a caliphate. Now, what would happen?
They would say it's religious freedom to have that area of Michigan be under Islamic rule, and the government would submit to it, and the left is promoting it.
There's no way, folks. Do you really believe we would take our government in, Alex, and drive them out of there? Shoot them if we had to? No.
Let me ask you this question. Why is there clearly a war on Christianity?
Because, the war on Christianity has been around since biblical times, obviously. But what people
But it's back. I mean, even the UN admits it's doubled the last 5 years.
What happens is power. You see, Christians believe in the higher power being God.
So we're not going to worship the state.
That's right. That's it. We're not going to worship this global entity. We believe our Father and the great giver of all things is God. Power people don't want that, Alex.
Yeah, the God of this world wants us to worship a planetary power, not the God of the universe.
You got it.
It's the God of this world. It's the devil. We don't worship the little God. We worship the real God.
And that's why our government in America for years has eliminated religious crosses and 10 commandments. They're getting rid of anything in the government and public area that has to do with Christ.
But they allow any other religion, from occultism to you name it, to be promoted in school.
I believe the people that want to control us believe that if Islam is allowed to exist in a big way, Islam can be controlled, Alex. They're used to dictators and kings and tyrants.
Well, it's true. Historically, Christians overthrow dictatorships.
That's right. So I don't think they fear, and they probably should. They're not really smart, but I don't think, Alex, they fear Islam like they do the freedom possessed by Christians. And freedom's called empowerment in Washington, Alex. And when I was there, buddy, you don't say that word. They don't hear empowerment. They don't want you to have your own money, because if you have your own money, you can make your own decisions. They don't want you to worship some God or Jesus Christ that gives all things and tells you what to do and what not to do. They want you to worship them. This will be, if we get to have this election, everybody put this down in your little Nicholasm book. If we get to have this election and Obama don't call it off because of the crisis, this will be the last election we have where you or I will be relevant.
And I want to be specific. In a republic, if 51% vote to enslave the rest, it can't happen because the minority is protected. When you point out whether it was Eastern Europeans or Chinese or Mexicans or Lithuanians or whatever, you bring in enough voting blocks into key states where the Democrats admit they've put all these big immigrant waves into key Republican and Libertarian areas. Battleground Texas admitted it's to conquer Texas and, quote, we're going to give everybody's guns. I wouldn't care if you brought in 10 million Mexicans to Texas if we could get them to be libertarians. The problem is they are brought in by the Democrats, they're indoctrinated, and then they vote to take my guns. And the Democrats are there handing out fake driver's license, and they're allowed to do it, and the Republicans won't block it because they're part of it. It's so sinister. And then they say, well, it doesn't matter, America, just shut up and put up with it. And then now they're going to bring in, as it's been pointed out, most of these people coming in as refugees are folks who tried to conquer Syria and weren't able to do it. These are actually Wahhabists that are now coming into Europe, and then they post all these videos saying, we're here for the jihad. And it turns out they've been top fighters in Al-Qaeda 4 months ago. ISIS 4 months ago said, we're going to have a fake immigrant wave of 500,000 to take down Europe, full of our people, and then they did it. And then the government said, come on in. I mean, you talk about crazy. Merkel and all these other people, when this is said and done, aren't getting away with it.
Hey, let me tell you, Alex, you ask anybody that had a background in the Middle East, there's one tribe in the Middle East that is by far the meanest, the most valued warriors in the world over there, and that's the Wahhabis. Guess what those 10,000 coming in are, buddy? Wahhabi Sunni. I mean, I don't know why we don't just get a gun and stick it to our head. We're shooting ourselves anyway. And by the way, you're talking to a man, Alex, of course you know this. I've read more elections than most people have ever even seen or heard of an election. Those thousands and tens and millions of illegals coming in here that are going to get driver's license and vote. Let me tell you something, folks. They're not really going to vote. They don't care about voting. But you can bet there are war rooms being set up right now, by the Democrats. And they're gathering all these names and all these absentee ballots. And those people are going to be voting like you've never seen. You're going to see the greatest percentage of voting in that block of people of any group in America. And not a one of them can read a stitch of the voting ballot. They're going to vote. That's why I say this is the last election we'll have, Alex.
Incredible.